Hello, welcome to Spy Money. My name is Brad, and I'm the owner of Spy Money. A lot of people say I don't know your name. Well, it's Brad. And if you join our Discord group, you can live chat with me. You can do that by clicking on this right here. And when you click on this, it'll open up, put your name, email, stuff in there, and start your membership. It's free, 100% free. So let's talk about how I trade. I trade many different ways, many different strategies. Um, I switch back and forth. And lately, I have been I always have the mover on my chart, and I always have the balance on my chart. And the balance are these lines here. They give the levels of where the price action is going to be going. And we have, there's London and there's also the US Open. So there's two different sessions I'm trading. So we're going to start with the London Open. So the London, we have this balance. If we open above it, we're usually long bias. If we open below it, we're usually short bias. But if the bars are above it, we will usually bounce off from it and continue up. London was quite choppy today. It's usually not this choppy. But I also have my mover on here. And the mover is a combination of different moving averages. And it has some little settings in there, like you can turn alerts on, you can turn arrows, and if we turn the arrows on, if we come up here, look at our arrows, I'm using a WMA 13. Most people that know me know that's usually what I trade. It does really well. You can turn your sound alerts on, and the alerts will let you know if you're checking emails or whatever. You can have these wave files, and you can choose whatever wave file you have in your system. So you can put a different wave in there into your NinjaTrader files and change it to whatever you want. Default is Alert 2 and Alert 3. We also have this thing called enable color bars. Right now you can see it's red and blue. So if we change that, it'll go back to your green and red. I personally have been lately just trading the color bars because I've been trying to trade longer. And when I see the green and red bars, it makes me get out quicker because I'm watching the candles itself. So what I've done in the last week is I turned it back over to where it's just, for my particular one, blue is long and red is short. You can change those. So if you go in, you can change, like you're up to yellow. You can change it whatever you want. It's all customizable according to what you want. You can also do this on bar close, on each tick, price change, whatever you want. I usually use on bar close. That seems to work best for me. You can change it ever how you want though. Um, and then as far as like balance, we can go in, we can see balance. We can show previous days. We can show, like, say you're not going to trade London, you can just turn it off if you don't want it. If you have both of them on, when London stops and US starts, it will quit using London and automatically go to the US. You can change all your colors and everything the way you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how you can trade with this. Now, you can trade this on any time frame you want. It doesn't matter. Like say you wanted to, a lot of people trade a 5-minute bar. So 5 minute, you can trade this and it works just the same. The higher the time frame you have, the higher the drawdown you're going to have. So if we go back to the 1 minute and we look at it for the London session, which the London session is usually a lot easier to trade, but as you can see today it was choppy. But just to give you an idea of trades that you could have done, let's say you're starting at the London, which is 3 a.m. Eastern time, my time. And when this come up, what happens is you want to get in right here. Now, if we go ahead and open this back up, one thing I didn't do is put my show arrows. So I'm going to go ahead and show my arrows. The arrows will show which bar it is that you're supposed to get in. So if you're watching this, and you can't remember which one to do, then just turn your arrows on. I don't have the arrows on because I know where they are. As soon as we get a bar that closes and it's blue, that is the one that we go in. So to give you an example of how this would work, as we go, your entry would actually be on this bar here because you have to wait till that closes, this one opens, and your entry be here. In this particular trade, there was no drawdown. It was completely positive in your trade, which is great. You don't always get that. Sometimes you get drawdown. And then when it goes up, what we do is we get out when we have a bar close below the mover. So, or you play it to right here. Me personally, I would be playing this one up to right here, and I'd have my stop up here. It's going to be um, smaller scalps, faster scalps, but I'm all about protecting profit. So when this pushed up to the balance, I would be looking for this right here to either go up or to reverse back. So for me, when this went up, I would be having my stop right here at the open, and that's $675. Now that's not saying that you would make that, because it depends on where you would get in and where you would get out. But this is how the mover indicator can work for you. Now another way you can do it is you can just get in and you can stay in until it reverses back. So there's $1,700 potentially that you could have made if you had got in there and got out there. What I do is I look for the balance. So I've got TP1 there and I've got my balance here. So I'm looking to scalp right here. I will put my stop as soon as this closes and this opens and pushes up. I usually would put my stop right here, and that would have got me out right there. So that's where I would have exited. And when this pulls back, I do not get in the trade there. When this pulls back and it starts pushing up, right through here, I don't necessarily get in. You could, but what I do is I wait for it to go over when this comes up, and it's just kind of going back across this balance. Well, eventually, I'm going to put me an entry in there. So when that pushes up and then it closes and opens here and pulls back, I'm going to be looking to get in an entry rolling through here because we're above our mover. We're still blue. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get back in. Maybe I get in down here. I'm not real sure. It depends on when you're in the trade what you would do. But usually when you hit that balance, it'll pull back and come back to it. Not necessarily push through, but it will usually come up and hit it again off of this pullback. So, right here you've got a double bottom right off of this. So a good entry would actually be right here. And since your mover is still blue, that's a good entry that you can get in. And then when this goes up and pushes through, you can put your stop right here. So there's another 300. Most of the people that I talk to, their ultimate goal is to make $1,000 a day. Here's one trade that would have done it on one contract. This is NQ, so it would cost you $1,000 to enter this trade. But you could have made your daily profit right here from this would be 308, and you would be done at 314. So about 6 minutes, you could have made your $1,000. So that would be pretty easy trades. It's not hard. Usually, whenever you break out, you will have a pullback, and then it will go again. Now, a lot of times, you will have a second leg, as we call it. So if you look at this one, and then you drag this up right off the bottom, right here is our top of our second leg of this right here, pulls back and then goes to there. Right here is about where the top of this leg was, and then it pushed on up. So, the second leg, trading the second leg is not necessarily 100% exact, but usually it's going to be real close to it. So what I do is I use the balance for my levels. Now, one thing you could do is you could actually put a target right there on this, and if you put it there, then you're going to take profit there, or maybe just a little before. I always usually do it just a little before because, again, these aren't 100% exact, but they're to get you in the area of where it's going to happen. This one overshot, and then it came back, but it was still, you can see that's a good level that you could have used. So you could have taken profit, say right there, and then maybe you didn't get in there, and say you got in, when this pushed up, it opened, maybe you got in here somewhere. We'll just say you got in there. Okay. So if you got in there, and you could have set this to the take profit area, and there's 1240. So that would be what, $2,080 if you had got in exactly where I'm showing. And those are actually good trades. Now once you get up here and it goes to pull back again, we're looking to come off of this. But here is one thing you have to remember. And another thing, you could have actually got in and got out right there. There's 2090 if you got in right off of that. So yeah, ever how you wanted to play it, you stay in until this keeps on going. So when we come down and we had a mover change, so we didn't get in a short here because we're bullish, but when we had the mover change, now we're going to be playing back to the balance. So when this closed, it actually opened right there. That would be our entry. And if we stay in this and it comes down, when we start getting above this, maybe this one right here, we don't like how that one, it actually, closed there and opened there. So we don't like how this is looking. It's going sideways. Maybe you put your stop rolling through here, right across the top of those. If you did, there's 265 more. If you'd have brought it on down here at the very bottom, which we know you wouldn't have got there, but that's 550. So, maybe once you get to $500 is when you just say, well, I'm going to put my stop there and let it run. Well, if you had played this just directly off of the mover, there's 215. You got in right here, and you got out on the blue. So there's 215 if you'd have played the mover exactly. And we keep on coming over, and when this closes, the ideal thing is to go ahead and get in a long. So if you got in a long, got up there, come down, I would at least broke even. So, maybe you got in here, got your $50 or whichever. Again, you come right here, and I personally wouldn't have taken this one because usually when this is coming down, it'll pull back to drop here. So what I would usually do is when this goes up and it starts making lower highs off of here, that's usually, I will sometimes jump in on the middle of this candle to come on down. The proper way is to go ahead and hop in off of this. So it'd be from here, and we would be looking to go to our balance, which is 330. So this one right here is probably one that we would not take, mainly because when we hit this one and we pulled back, we did almost made it, but we didn't. We will usually come down to it, and that's what happened. So I could do this all day long, but for the most part, that's the way it works. You have your balance for your levels, and then you have your mover for your direction. Now you can scalp this on a higher time frame, a lower time frame, whichever way you want to do it, and it actually works pretty good in the directions you want. Right here we are making, here's a high, here's a lower high, lower high, lower high. That's a good indication that we're probably going to keep on going down. So when we have that, you just get in through here somewhere. Maybe you get in off of this arrow here. Maybe you wait till it breaks below the balance, which is actually a good place to be. If you're below the balance, your mover's red, say you get in here, and you're planning on playing it all the way down. So, let's see here. That moved on me. What we would be looking to play to is down here. So when we enter there, we're going to put our profit target down here. And since we didn't make it, we come through, we pushed up, we're coming above, we got a different color change, so right there's $600. Nothing to sneeze at. And then when this pulls back, we don't get in because we're coming down. We got another lower high. At that point, you can hop in right here. This one, it's kind of coming through. Once you get down in here, you're going to have a break even. So this one, you would have just about broke even on the trade. There wouldn't have been anything. But now we're starting to go sideways. So do we do anything here? No, we just wait. Just hold off. We don't even get in here. Because we don't know that when this happens, that it's not going to, just be like this right here. We just wait. Then once we get back to the balance, then we decide what we want to do. At this point, we're at the top of the mover, so we don't do anything. When this comes down and closes, we would get in it because we are actually going down in direction. So when this went up, or this one went up, we are still lower than this up here. We're higher than there, but we're still lower than that. And when we come up, we go ahead and get another short. Now, when this come down, it would have come right back up to it. This has been kind of choppy. London sessions usually a lot smoother, and today it just wasn't. But as you can see, if you just trade red to blue and look for your levels of your balance, this is a very easy chart to follow. It's not hard, very easy, and it worked all the way through. I mean, even through here. I mean, if you got in, say right there, you probably would have been stopped out right here, but you would have broke even because when this shot up, you at least had a break even. And look at this one. Usually, remember when I said that we have two legs? Well, here's one leg. We pull back and then we run again. So when we come down, this would have been a good entry off of this blue candle. Because, we went up, we pulled back, we made a higher low than here. And so our entry would actually be there. We'd be playing to up here. Once that gets up close, say we only got that right here, we had our stop for 780. So it really doesn't take a lot to make money in the futures trading using NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader's a good platform to have your bars and your indicators and things on. It works really well. Now, when it starts going sideways like this, we don't trade that. We all know not to trade chop because you'll get hurt. Now, what you could do if you wanted is you could set the SPY Money channel drawing tool. And when this goes up to right here, and when you break out of this, you know that you don't want to be going long anymore. So like this one here, we wouldn't be going long. When we break out and then we pull back, that's a good time to get back in. When we break out of it, you don't get in. And then when you come back up to it and you fail, right there is your good entry. So when it failed to get back up in there, right here would be a good entry. And the most you would make is 720, but honestly, on this one right here, you would be playing to the balance. So if you got in there, it actually hit the balance right there, and it's $615. So we have targets now with the mover. Before, we just had the mover, and you had to really figure out where it was going to go, and you were playing reversals only. But now we have the balance that you can put on there for the targets. And the targets is really what most people don't have. They have no idea where it's going. Now this one, once you get over to say here and it broke out, so like from here, so this thing actually broke out on this candle, so we move our line here. And then you take this one and you just throw it over here somewhere, and as the candles go, it'll start drawing out the channel. So on this one, we're looking right here. Now this channel tool is really good for you in the sense that it will automatically draw out the channel for you. And then once you get to where you have three good points, you take this line and you move it to that point, and then you let the candles do their magic over here. So once we stop it here, it's not going to let it continue to go. So when we broke out of this channel, that's a good indication we're probably going to sell off. But we don't get in right there. I personally don't trade from about 9:30 to 10 in the morning. I do sometimes, but for the most part, I don't trade because it is so sloppy. It is just the candles are huge. It's hard to get in and out. So you just don't know what to do most of the time. So your channel tool is going to be, once you break out of it, then you just come back to the backside and you will go ahead and bring it over, and you'll throw it over here somewhere and allow it to work. So in this particular case, we have a channel right there. Now that's a big channel. It's really hard to trade. But once we broke out of this, we will go ahead and move our, right there will be, yeah, it's about right there. So there's your channel for it. That noise you heard is the mover because we turned the alerts on. And so that was a down. So if we come back over here just to show you, that was a down, that noise that you heard. So it was showing that it was going short. Now right now, if we had been watching this, we could have got in a short, when we hit our level up here, we come down. This would have been a good area, probably right underneath this to get in short because we're movers coming down. We know that we probably have, direction to come to right here. So if we would have gotten in, it would have been on that one right there. And we come down, we could have played it to this right here. There's $950. Now, would we get back in up here? No, because we're in a down channel. Now, when we come back up, would you get in right here? You could. But me, personally, as this is going up, I would start thinking about getting in right in here because we're making lower lows. So looking at the balance, and it's 820. But let's just say that we got in right off of this. So we got in off of that low. That's still $520 that you could, potentially make. So yeah, this is a very simple strategy. It's very easy to use. You turn your color bars on. Red is going to be short, blue is going to be long. You can use whatever moving average that you're comfortable with. Some people use SMAs, EMAs, BWMAs. I use the WMA, which is a weighted moving average. It's a little smoother. HMA works really well too. So you can just try whatever you want. I personally use Fibonacci numbers, so I'll use like an 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, and so forth, 233. Those are the numbers I use because I'm all about Fibonacci. I think Fibonacci is one of the best things that you'll ever use in trading because they are usually pretty accurate. Some people like to use a 9 in a SMA or an EMA or whichever, but I don't. I like to use the Fibonacci numbers. But this will work for whatever trading that you want. So as far as when you're using the drawing tool here, this channel, you come over to say right here, and you bring this one over, and when you break out of this channel right here, when you break out of it, you're probably going to go long or chop. It's one of the two. This one right here, if we take this one all the way as far as we went, say we go right here. That is actually a pretty good channel for what we're doing. This is staying right in it. Then we take this one and bring it right on over. So now we're staying within this channel. So it's almost the same channel. It's a downward motion, but it is two different channels. And that's how you would play it. Right now would be a good time to go ahead and hop in a short. And I would play it down to right here. I would put my profit target here, but you can play it to right here. So if you did, number one, I would already be in the short from right here, and I'd be looking to play it down to the balance, which is a little over $500. I would have my profit target down here because there's a good chance it may just sell off real hard. If it does, you don't want to have your profit target here and it keep on going and you miss the trade. So what you want to do is you want to put your profit target usually one past whatever you're at. And then you just bring your stop down. When it gets down there, you have your stop in your hand, holding it there, and let it go from there. So like right here, we have a channel going sideways. So we have this right here coming down. This may come up to about here. It may even touch that right there. But right now it's just ranging. That's all it's doing. And when it starts ranging sideways like this, you're better off just to be out of it. If you got in back over here and it come down, just have your break even up here. That way if it would pop up on you, then you can protect your profit and get away from the losses. If it keeps on dropping, just have your stop in hand. And once it gets down here, then you just click and move it. That's where you do it. So we were right up to it. And there's the TP1 or 2. So we broke out this channel now. So right now, this is kind of iffy what you should do. I would say probably a short right here. You know, once it went up and hit that, a good place to be in a short and put your stop right above it. And then hopefully it will play back down and get to the balance. More than likely, this is going to get to the balance. I'm not going to do 10. Not on that. I was trading 10 contracts this morning. But you know, right here is where this is a kind of a gamble trade as far as getting in. You're better off not to trade that, but if you do, trade on smaller lots. That's the best way to do it. So like right there, if we did a sell limit, and let's just move this down to 4, and let's see what it's going to do here. We may go ahead and come down here and get in on this one, but it looks like it's going to push on through. So right now it's broke out. It's actually opened up another bar. So this is not a trade I want to get in, long or short. I don't want to do anything right now. This will more than likely come back up to here and retest this. At that time, probably pull back and then we'll be in another channel. So if we bring this over, we'll just put it over here. We'll let these candles kind of fight out and make our channel. As it runs, you're going to see this channel starting to move. So if this pops up more, this will go up higher. And if it comes down and goes below this, then it will make it wider. So, and this is available on the website as well. It's the Spy Money channel drawing tool. That's what it is. But it works really well. Again, right now, this is not an area that I want to trade. Now, if you wanted, if you're going sideways, maybe you got in down here. But see, if you got in here, you would have lost money. If you got in right here, you would have lost money. If you got in right here, you would have made money, but we didn't know that when it's going sideways. So what you want to do is you want to wait till you get the breakout move, and then when it pulls back, and then when it starts to go long again, that's when you want to get in. But that's how I use the mover and the balance. It's these two right here are probably my favorite. I love the Ranger as well. I mean, I don't really dislike any of them, but when I'm wanting less on the screen, I go back to the mover and the balance. The mover just gives me the direction that I'm looking for. The balance is giving my levels. It makes it easier to make some money. And as long as you follow the rules on it, you should do pretty good. If you would have gotten in a short here and it come down, you probably would have lost a little bit there. You might have had your break even in, but a lot of times it's better off to just play it right off of the TP1, the short, instead of waiting on this drop. When it's kind of going through, we're in a down motion. Maybe you put your limit in right here, and when it comes down, when it pushes down, you bring your stop to break even, so you wouldn't have actually lost money there if you'd have done that. So I hope this helps you as far as how to buy all this. If you just go up here, and if you just type in mover, then it will bring up the mover. There's several different ones. You need to make sure you're buying it for the NinjaTrader, which would be this one here. So if you click on there, you can buy that one. And then if you come up here, you can click on balance. And if you click on balance, then it will show the balance indicator. And you can buy both of those, and it should help your trading. Depends on the person, of course. I mean, everybody's different. If you follow the rules, you should do pretty good with it. A lot of people want to trade different tick patterns and stuff. I mean, you can trade this on 144 if you wanted. I trade 144 a lot and wait on it to hit. So, this come down. You can see it bounce right off of here and the TP2, and it's going up, so we know that this is going to be a long. The 144, down through here is showing a little bit different than a 1 minute. But if you're scalping, a lot of times the 144 will actually work better for you. It just depends on how you trade. This works for ES as well. A lot of people are trading ES. So if you were looking at ES, then it would show this a little bit different. There it is. It takes a while for your ticks to load up. And if we look at this on a 1 minute, you see that if you did trading on the mover, your entry would be here, and your exit would have been bare minimum here. And if you got in here, this right through here where it pulled back, maybe you had gotten out. I would have been out down in here. I would not have allowed this to lose money. When this come down, my stop at minimum would have been right here. But I probably would have had it closer to here. And then when this pulled through, it comes on down. I'd be looking to go on down there, but when this comes down and starts fighting a little bit, I probably would have been in or been out along through there around 950. So, right here again, you more than doubled your $1,000 goal if that's what your goal is. The SPY balance is showing that it hit right here. It comes up, come up again. That would have been a good entry to go short, playing down to here. And we don't know that's going to hit there, but just to give you an idea, roughly there's $2,200 from here to here, just on a $500 contract. So, and we don't know that that's going to come down here, but that right now that's the play that we would be playing. That's how we would be playing this right now. This may go ahead and come back up, but if you push through, you come through, you push through again, it's a good opportunity to hop in a short to come down. So right now, I would not hop in a short here. I would wait for it to either come back up or for the mover to turn red. That's what I'd be looking for, because you've already missed your entry up here. So I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, let me know. This is how you trade the mover and the balance. In my opinion, it's probably the most simplistic way that you can trade. It's real easy. It shows your levels, shows your direction, and you could actually use this on options as well. So if you put ES on here, you could trade your SPY options or SPX or whichever. This will give you good overall direction. If I was going to do that, I'd put it on a 5 minute. And just to give you an idea of what 5 minute would look like. So your 5 minute, at your open, showed your short all the way. So you could have got in your puts here. And then, when it started coming back up, started hitting your double bottoms and stuff and come up, you could have got a little scalp here off of your calls. And again, once you sold those, you could have got back into your puts. Right now, it looks like it's trying to push above the balance. This will more than likely push up, pull back into the mover, and then go up. As you can see, almost every time. And to give you an idea, on the 1 minute, it's easier to see. Like right here, we pushed up, we pulled right back into the mover, and then we ran. This one here, we come down, we pulled right back up into it, and then we drop. This one went up, pulled into it, then pushed up. So it does it almost every time. So if you miss that first entry, sometimes maybe you go ahead and wait on the second entry. Like on this one, if you miss that right there, if you come down here, you don't want to do it. You wait on this to come up, and then you get in your second one, which would be right here, and you come down. Again, let me know if you have any questions. You can also contact me. My contact form is a little messed up, so right there's my email. Send that to me. I'll respond back pretty quick. And again, two things. We have a NinjaTrader tips and tricks course. You can sign up and get that for free. No credit card necessary. You can also put in your name and email address. Anytime I have new updates or anything, I send out emails to everybody, let them know. A lot of different products here that you can do. And the SpyBot auto trading bot, a lot of people ask about that. All the information is right here. It's $1,000 a month, and it does all the entries and exits for you. You just have to program it the way you want it to run. We do offer settings that work for them, proven settings. Some days you will lose money. It's not 100% win rate or nothing like that. Nothing is. But it does a pretty good job. So if you're struggling with the entries and so forth, try that out. And there's no obligation with it. You can cancel anytime. So if you don't like it, you can always cancel. For the most part, my people or my customers will continue to use it and continue to lease it. So I got pretty good success rate with it. To see here how it pulled right back in, right here would probably be a good place to take a short because we're coming up. This may continue to go up. We don't know, but that would be a good opportunity to get in a short and put our stop right up here and let it go. So if we got in, say right here at 22.50, that would be about 4-point stop, but you can see it's coming right down. So once we're down here, we bring our stop down so we can't lose money, and hopefully we get a win on it. Have questions, let me know. Love to hear from you. Join our Discord. Again, our Discord link, go right here. And when you click on that, you come into it. It's 100% free. I don't charge for it. You can get a lot of information on there, and it works good for you. Have a great day.